Previously, on keeping up with the Kenya Kwanza government.
Hawa watu wengine hawana mpango, musipoteze na we cannot hand over to people hawana mpango. Ati mpango yao Ruto must go. Sasa Ruto must go itakusaidia na nini?
This is how President William Ruto is setting himself up to stretch his stay in State House by another 5 years, even as his rivals swear that 2027 will be the year he learns the hardest lesson of his career.
Hii ndio maneno tunataka tujiandikishe kura. Ndio hata huyu rais tufundishe hii adabu. Awache kutukana jamii, awache kutukana viongozi.
Those people wanaota ndoto ya mchana. Simulinipatia hii kazi. Ama namna gani? Na mnataka kujua hii kazi mlinipatia nimefanya imefika wapi? Si hapo ndio kipimo iko?
According to Paul Muite, the president isn't just relying on campaign promises or grassroots mobilizations, but on unorthodox methods to secure an extra 5 years.
This government of PR, if I was asked to describe it, I would say the government is a criminal enterprise masquerading as a government.
On top of those unorthodox methods is voters' suppression. He claims the administration is blocking thousands of young Kenyans and perceived opposition strongholds from getting ID cards in time, a move that would sideline potential anti-Ruto votes before they even reach the ballot.
Elections are not just about the polling day, siku ya uchaguzi. It is what happens in between the last elections and the next elections. What I'm saying is that this is the time for Safina to give leadership on the issue of voter suppression. You expect the regime in power to conduct voter suppression in certain areas. That is an issue I would recommend you take up immediately. The denial of ID cards without which you cannot register as a voter is a major issue from what I'm hearing. Take it up. We should be having statistics of how many youngsters, how many Gen Zs are getting their ID cards without being told to bribe the chief. As you know, I hear complaints. You want an ID card? Chief anataka kitu kidogo. Hamujasikia hiyo? Those are things that this party should take up as a FINA. We have over 500 registered polling stations in the country. And we need to have the names of how many people are today registered in each of those polling stations. We need to know how many Gen Zs are being denied ID cards and therefore suffering voter suppression in certain areas. This is one of the ways in which the regime reads.
But that's only one part of the plan. Muite warns that Ruto has already secured control over the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, an institution that by law should remain neutral but is, in his words, now dancing to his tune.
So focus on the elections being free and fair. There is a ruling by Maina Kiai that elections are at the polling station, not at Bomas, not at KICC or wherever else that the regime in power might choose to host their IEBC. And I say deliberately their IEBC because the trust deficit in this IEBC is very, very low indeed. But it is for the parties that are aspiring to take over leadership as president to ensure that elections are returned from KICC, from Bomas or wherever else, down to the polling station. Because the law says no polling station can have more than 500 registered voters. It's very difficult to rig at the polling station. So what I'm recommending,
to tighten the screws further, Muite alleges that President William Ruto is preparing to shut down the internet during transmission of results, creating a digital blackout that would smooth the path for rigging without scrutiny.
From each of the polling station. Na nyinyi Gen Z ninajua muna ujuzi. You should have your own national website so that these results are transmitted there immediately. So that all that the party needs to do here, in collaboration with the other parties, because there are some issues you need to collaborate, is to ensure that the state captured Communications Authority of Kenya and the state captured Safaricom do not close down the internet to stop the transmission of the results through mobile pictures being taken. Somebody who is stealing e-citizen money inaenda huko Switzerland. Na tuna demand hiyo mambo, anaendelea tu kuiba. What makes us think he will not? CDO, that is the solution.
And the big question is whether Muite's warnings carry weight. For many Kenyans, they do. Concerns over compromised 2027 votes are already surfacing from within the political establishment itself. On July 12th this year, Wajir woman representative Fatuma Jeho bluntly claimed that the elections would not be free or fair, pointing to a plot to rig in Ruto's favor.
Sisi kama wabunge wa North Eastern, nikiongea kutoka Wajir, sisi maneno ya His Excellency the President, sisi maneno yetu ni mafupi tu. Tunasema tu 2 term. Ama kuna maneno ingine? 2 term, sio? Si tunangojea tu debe iletwe, hata kama hatutakuwa na votes, tutamuibia, hiyo si siri.
Such statements from elected leaders only feed the perception that the coming contest may be tilted long before the first vote is cast.
Just say that now they are falling because he just said the truth. Don't rig the election, because if you rig the election, it's going to be trouble. And indeed, there's going to be trouble. So let people express themselves freely. Let them say that haki has been done, that justice has been done, and that the winner has won fairly. Not because you have got the tools of government and you want to impose yourself on the people. There will be trouble.